So it's no secret that Slipknot is one of my favorite bands of all time, and for those wondering, I am in Costa Rica. That explains the hotel. I just realized that door was open. It's just the bathroom. Hotel, everything like that, why I'm wearing this shirt and why there's pink in the background and all that. But I thought it'd be fun to react to some more Watchmojo, because Watchmojo is always a very controversial channel, but you know what, they can make some good lists, and that's the honest truth. I did actually start making this video, and then I realized that my audio stopped recording part of the way through, and because I'm recording on my phone, unfortunately, I normally record on a camera, but I didn't bring it to Costa Rica. It doesn't have that much storage, so I can only really get through parts of the video. So we're going to go back to the start. I do know half the list already, but I am going to share my opinions on each of the placings. Let's do this.
Maybe it's time where the tables turn, 'cause in the interest of all involved.
Number 10, Spit It Out.
I love how they blur out the swearing.
Nothing like a classic headbanger
it's
to
Slipknot.
get things
Come on.
started.
Whoa. This is definitely on the top
Slipknot's
10,
debut
if not
album,
even top
Spit It
5.
Out was one of the first singles the band ever released. A song about bitterness. This is also the track that's known to get crowds going wild.
I'll just go
especially
from
with
here
lead
on
singer
out.
Corey Taylor at the helm and
Hopefully
leading
my
the charge.
phone can record it all. This performance is also one of the best ever. Eyeless, of course, one of my personal
Number 9,
favorites as well.
Eyeless.
A song that when I first, I'm gonna turn this down, sorry. A song that when I first heard it,
This
I
is
wasn't a fan,
definitely one
but
that'll
now
make you lose
it's
your head.
easily in my top 10, top 15. Such a good
Also
song.
found on the band's eponymous first record, Eyeless boasts
Look at
Taylor's
Sid
intense,
go.
screaming vocals that are made all the more powerful by the song's dark undertones, especially the subject of abandonment.
I am my father's son, 'cause he's a phantom, a mystery, and that leaves me nothing.
Quick bit of trivia. The song's key line was inspired by a homeless man who kept screaming those words at Taylor when he
I
was
did know
in
that
hell.
one. That's a good fact. Left Behind.
Number 8,
Yeah.
Left Behind.
I was gonna say, I've seen this part of the video. Definitely one of the biggest ones from Iowa, which is a phenomenal album.
Grammy-nominated track off the band's second album.
I think that
Left Behind
it
is one
makes
of
sense
the more
why it's on it
melodic
because
tracks
it's
that Slipknot has
Grammy
released.
nominated, and I think it was a single as well. It's a great song as well. Not like top 3 on the album. Sorry for the microphone. I cannot hear myself.
Blending together Taylor's softer singing with his signature screams.
But that's why so many people love it, and it is a great song. Listen to
Inspired
Joey
by his
go.
time as a homeless person, the new metal number reached the top 40 of the U.S. hot mainstream
Another
rock
reason it's on
tracks
the list.
and the UK singles charts.
Those vocals are so brutal.
Number 7,
Now
Vermilion
this,
and
I was so
Vermilion
happy
Part
to see
2.
on the list. I'm gonna move back a bit. Now these are my favorite
Slipknot's
Slipknot
more
songs.
unique
The
songs.
first part especially
Vermilion
is my number
actually
1,
found
but
in
like
2
these
parts
2
on their third
are
effort.
my favorite, so I was so happy to see it on the list, even though, you know, it's a single and stuff, so.
Each has only subtle differences in lyrical themes, yet with widely different musical arrangements.
She's everything to me. The unrequited dream.
So good.
Taking the subject of unrequited love from the perspective of a damaged individual, the first part of Vermilion is much more frantic in tone and emphasizes the person's expectations and eventual distress.
Perfect way to describe it, honestly. They're doing really good so far.
Meanwhile, part 2 is much softer and slower in pace to show the broken pieces of the individual's mind.
So basically,
Definitely dark stuff, but it makes for 2 incredible tunes. Number 6.
People equal shit.
Equal shit.
Of course it had to be on the list. I mean, come on. It's like a crowd favorite. It's so good. Like,
With a title
possibly
like
their
that,
happiest
you
song.
just know
It's
you're in for
awesome,
something
though.
heavy.
Oh, I miss
On
Joey
the
so
first
much.
full-length track off Iowa, Taylor gives an unrelenting vocal assault that never fails to get our adrenaline flowing.
Perfect way to describe it.
Despite being a song that lashes out against the worst of humanity, it also brings the band and its fans together with the
Yeah.
harmony of heavy metal.
Yeah, basically. I love how they like cut out the swearing. Like,
Number
now
5,
this was the biggest
Duality.
surprise. I'm surprised they did not put Duality as number 1 because it's their biggest song. And it's not one of my favorites anymore, but when I first heard it, it became one of my
In
favorite
comparison
songs
to
because
the
it
other
totally
singles
changed
released
my
prior to their
thoughts
third
on
album,
music
Duality
like
is
this.
different for Slipknot for various reasons.
It's still a great song, of course.
The lack of obscene lyrics is a turning point for Taylor, with his vocals ranging from powerful projections, melodic whispers, and a few bursts
Volume
of
3 had a
classic
lot of
Taylor
that.
screams. These changes resulted in a signature Slipknot song that won't soon be forgotten,
True.
as well as a top 10 hit on the American rock charts.
Yeah. Okay, next song. Oh, that note is so good. Now, I haven't seen from this
Number
on.
4, Surfacing.
Yes. Classic. I've really grown to absolutely love this song. When I first heard it, I didn't really get it, but now it's one of the
band
best for
declares
sure.
it the new international anthem every time it's played live, and we can get behind that.
Yep. That's so cool.
Found on their first effort, it's heavy as hell and contains
Yeah.
a simple message of not letting others judge you,
Exactly.
not having to answer to anyone for who you are. After the spine-tingling opening led by their turntablist, Sid Wilson,
Yeah, the
all the
intro is
instruments
so good.
gradually come together before this track is fully unleashed.
So good. Just had to fix a little thing with the storage and all that. You guys know that. 754. Let's keep going.
Number 3, Psychosocial.
Psychosocial. Of course, one of the biggest ones. Another song that really grew on me. Not top
As one of the
5 or
highlights
anything,
of their
but
fourth album,
it's one of the best
Psychosocial
on All
is
Hope Is
also
Gone.
a Grammy-nominated track that introduced us
Although
to
there are
Slipknot's
3 more
revamped
songs
sound.
I would put above this. I'll talk about it later.
While the chorus is softer in tone, it still has the same heavy collaboration of the band's various instruments, giving each
The
member a
guitar
time
solo
to
is
shine.
also awesome. Not a lot of their songs have that, so that's why this song's really special.
Not to mention a kick-ass guitar solo.
So good. The music video is also awesome. Good. Now this one I've heard a million times, but it's still one of my favorites.
Number 2, Before I Forget. This is the song that won the Nine their first Grammy.
So good.
Arguably the most successful song off their third album.
Not true.
Before I Forget
Duality.
is a mixture of Slipknot's signature metal riffs with Taylor's hard yet melodic vocals.
It gets me every time.
With some killer guitar work bringing it all together.
Yup.
This track will make you feel great about being who you are, especially if you're one of the maggots.
The video is so cool, the way they shot it without showing their faces. I hate how they cut it short though.
Before we unveil
Okay,
our
let's
top
do
pick,
this.
here are a few honorable mentions.
Of course. I'm surprised they put that on honorable mention. It's so good though. Definitely honorable mention. Not worthy of the list, I think, but yeah. This one should have been on there though. This is better than Left Behind. And I like it more than People Equal Shit. This should have been on the list.
Number 1, Wait and Bleed.
Good choice. Best song from their first album.
It's the first single the band ever released.
Another reason it's number 1.
It earned them their first Grammy nod, and it's the first time we heard Taylor switch between hectic screaming and eerily melodic vocals.
Is that true?
It's also a milestone in the band's history, and from it you can see a lot of techniques that they would later incorporate into other
Yeah.
songs.
Totally right on here.
And for those reasons, it tops the list. Maggots
Yeah.
for life.
It's funny
Do you
hearing it
agree
in
with
this
our
voice
list?
too.
What's your favorite Slipknot song?
Okay, there we go. That's good. It's funny hearing that. Like, what's your favorite Slipknot song? Like, Maggots for Life, all stuff like that, and like the really nice, clean. I really hope that there are not people right on the side of this wall here, because I would have been talking very loudly. But you know what? That's a good list. I'll just look at it once more, share my thoughts on it. What do they have? They had. Oh God. I need to look at it again. But, you know, there are a few songs, obviously, I would put on it, and maybe some from the later albums that deserve to go on here, but this was June 26, 2014. Great chapter. I don't remember what day it came out, so it might have been... What day was it released? Okay, it was released in October, so it was released later on in the year, so that's why songs like The Devil and I and that are not on it. You know, obviously, that's the big one. So 10 was Spit It Out, definitely worth being on the list. I would probably have it even higher. Great song. Same with Eyeless. You know, I love Eyeless, of course. Really grew to love that song. Left Behind is a great one, and they explained more so why it's on the list. Is it one of my absolute favorites? No, but do I see why it's so great? Yeah. Vermilion, Part 1 and 2, those are my favorites, so I'm so glad those are on the list. That actually surprised me. People Equal Shit, obviously a huge fan favorite. Definitely worth being on top 15, I'd say. I do wish, one thing I will say, My Plague. That song is my favorite from Iowa. It has been ever since I listened to it for the first time. I'll link it above. That song is amazing. Also, the Heretic Anthem they mentioned on the honorable mentions, which is good, but it deserves to be above, I think, Left Behind and People Equal Shit, which is good. And then Duality was surprisingly not number 1, which is cool, although it does make sense how Wait and Believe was number 1. Again, a great song, worth being on a list that's like this big, I could say, like from a channel that's, you know, it's Watchmojo, everybody knows them. Surfacing, really great to see that on there. It was going to be on there. I could tell these next few, it was like they're all going to be on there. Same with Psychosocial, obviously one of the really big ones. I think top 3 most streamed songs on Apple Music from Slipknot. And then the second one is Before I Forget. And for me, when it comes to Duality, I love the song. I've heard it so many times, so it kind of takes away just a little bit. But when I first heard it, I mean, you can see my reaction. I loved it. That felt like so long ago, but in reality, it wasn't. But Before I Forget is easily in my top 10. If I don't know what top 5, but top 10. Same with Wade and Bleed. It's my favorite song from that debut album. I know originally I said Scissors, but that one's my favorite. Is it my favorite of all time? No, but top 5 definitely. Although, okay, here's a few that I do wish were on there. At least from what was released at the time. Let's see. Let me actually go look in my Apple Music here at them. From All Hope Is Gone, I gotta go with Sulfur, definitely. Sulfur and Dead Memories, and then they mentioned Snuff, of course, but Sulfur especially should have been on there. Dead Memories as well. Let's see. Volume 3. They did a pretty good job. Yeah, actually, honestly, I have no complaints about that one. Iowa, I kind of talked about before. They had almost all the songs in there are great, and then the first album, they did all the ones they needed to. So honestly, they did a much better job than what people normally give, like say they do. A lot of the times, their lists are very basic, but this one, yeah, all these songs were some of their biggest songs, and you'd probably find them on Essentials, but it was cool to see. And when it comes to the other albums, obviously, Great Chapter and We're Not Your Kind were not released, so that's why there are no songs on here from that. I know a lot of people will probably be commenting that without even realizing it, but Slipknot's one of my favorite bands of all time. A list like this is fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to know your favorite Slipknot songs. I'll probably do a video soon talking about mine, maybe when the next album comes out, because I know Corey said he only has to do 4 more songs. He has to retrack some of them because he thinks he can do better. And the Chapels on Rag was a great song, and I've listened to them all, all the albums now. That's why I'm making this video. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Over and out.